Okay, this is a demonstration for what would be considered collateral certification. I am in the midst of working on an AI modeling project. My AI fake fiance, basically. So what I have here is a project involving multiple stratifications of basic what might be considered like framework or natural structure of language theory. So basically, as an AI model, I would do anything that would be out of the norm, but in the normal pretension of what someone might find attractive or loose, or possibly hinting at technological ambivalence. So that's like anything that's in framework, but it's out of framework at the same time, like one of the curiosities of life. And I usually play on those issues. So here I have me taking some modeling pictures. There I am waving hello. So basically, I'm modeling in front of a light bulb, a blue light bulb that's wrapped blue. So basically, I'm taking the light bulb, and if you can see me behind me, this is me with a wrapped bag around the light bulb, which is darker blue than most blues. I think it's the darkest this light bulb will get. If there was a black or a blue setting in the light bulb, I would probably use that to be more tangible in this situation. And then also I have the dark blue shirt, which is about the approximate color for this pattern or algorithm that I'm working on right now. And then here I have small pebbles or rocks that I sorted out and cleaned. They were from a bag of rocks that were set aside in case a window got leaked through, like a storm bag, basically. So I took these rocks, I strained them through a screen, a broken screen I had, and then I took the small rocks, about pebble size, put them in a cup, washed them through, and then washed them with some peroxide alcohol, and then some what's it called another cleaner. So basically, I took that cleaner, and then I put it in the solution. I let it sit there, just sprayed it basically, to see if there was any photobacteria on the rocks themselves. It doesn't seem like there was, but with what I think it was Eugene, someone, he claims that there's photochemicals that you can't actually see, like in photosynthesis. I kind of buy it a little bit. I see, these photochemicals. I think, I mean, in the display of like cultures and subterraneous plants, like rooted within rooted plants. So like in grafting. But so here we have the rocks, and they've also been cleaned with bleach. After I cleaned them with the chemical, I used bleach. I had to soak them in bleach. They were still dirty, so I went back to the screen, and then I took the screen to water, and then I washed them out some more. So here they are on my would be purple or blue glove in between, right? And basically they're sterile rocks, small sterile rocks. And that's just a photo of me with the blue shirt, of course, loose, and then the blue light bulb, which is like almost elusive, right? But it's also it's not illuminated. I would consider illicit, like the blue light network you might find in somewhere like the website. It's a dangerous website online, so I don't recommend seeing it or looking at. I think it's Wikipedia for the site, but they talk about drugs, so it's not a good concept. A lot of formidable ideas go along with drugs, which are rape, sexual assault, murder, kidnapping. All those things are usually sometimes related to drugs. Right now, I'm in drug policy class for my criminal justice work at college, but here basically I could turn myself into a female. And the arrangement basically, I mean, it doesn't do much, except, it makes it asymmetrical. So when I say asymmetrical, it basically takes the pattern of the rocks and it makes them assorted. And you would say like nothing about it, but for a male figure in this situation, this concept wouldn't make sense. But for a female figure, it would make sense. Or, possibly in maybe some cultures, it would make technical sense. But the thing is, the assorted like a it would seem mind frame, or you might say framework, right? These rocks are made in a specific pattern and they integrate with social economics or social environment in a different way for different types of people. The light bulb technically stays the same, right? But it doesn't. It is technically specific to the light spectrum it gives out. And of course, this is the darkest blue, where the darkest blue should be like this dark blue shirt, but maybe blacker because it's meant to be black and blue. So the median on there or mean would be black, right? But it would be hinted at blue, right? So that's like a photochemical, right? So we have this blue glove, which is another synthetic, material, and it's meant to be clean, sterile. So the comparison between the small rocks and, of course, the glove is the difference, right? It's like a protocol or what you might consider signature in real life, and most people would call laminate or like sterile activity like credit or like electronic currency. So when you take the plastic bag, you give something else to it with the blue light, right? The spectrum is a deficit. So I'm not sure if you consider addition or not addition, because the bag is technically clear, but the edges around the bag are white in a way. So is the glove. It shines through. So the pattern is there. The asymmetrical like pattern is there, especially with the female. The eyes are indifferent, really. As you can see, it's looking a little bit more real. The hair looks a little bit more thinned. I don't know, you can make longer hair. But again, it's about how technical this solution is. It's a hypothetical solution and scenario. So basically, in this hypothetical situation scenario, who would use such small rocks to integrate with something that might be considered photo derivative and then a bacteria, right? A photo derivative would be like combustible gas, but it would also be extra-dimensional, which would like be divisionally atomic or some subatomic in that chain, right? It would be like a projector. Combustion engine is also like that, right? A lot of people don't recognize that. But the pattern is like for X-ray technology, like when it first invented. Did it go off into different chemicals? Well, they use it for like photography now. So that photography image now plays a direct result into those typical patterns. So when looking at the rocks and things like that, you can see that the pattern is like it's differential. So the rocks are different colors there, and it does drive into the image. It's asymmetric. Like it brings into action into the image. So as you can see, there are different chemicals here, or different qualities of the photography taking place. So I mean, you could take the image, you could put freckles on it, maybe because that person would have a allergy to it. These rocks are asymmetric, so the pattern is now like atypical. It now follows a distinct regional pattern, like which is socioeconomic in a way. But how do they join to what we consider recreational? I mean, we may consider it sensational, or you may call it reactivity, or you may call it stratification. In criminal justice, you would call it stratification. In psychology, we call it stratification too. So the question is, is there a technical difference between those two things? Like two different images, are the same quality, right? The same impact if they're the same thing. But are they if they're different actions or reverbs? As you can see in the far back, you can't see it. It's a walnut, a Brazilian walnut tree. So would that play technical style in the serenity of this photograph? It is a composer of soap. It makes up soap for some products. So it's questionable. If you look at like the asymmetrics of like this style, right? It's tangible towards like something like selective places that have no recourse action. Those are places that are already you're not able to go to those places. So those technical correspondence factors, they're from isolated regions. So those isolated regions could be like places like Russia. It could be select parts of China if they don't want you to go into those places. And China has some different reasons. It might be agricultural because they do a lot of products, cleaners. They sell a lot of cleaners or plastic products, or it could be something like for farming or teleco. I'm sorry, computers or information things. So those are the real reasons, right? It could be scientific comprehension, right? It could be testing for things since the COVID. They've done rehaul of a lot of systems, and businesses of course work in China, but they're not always overseen by the government. But you could see that maybe like researching molar mass is one of those things they could do. Why would you need rocks to be atypical or asymmetric like this? It's so they don't cause too much problems. They don't cause a bacteria. Maybe it would be on an offsite to like be a focused environment. So you could think about it that way basically. So it can be different. You might think North Korea might have something like this. And the ciliation of the question is like what makes it different than an American economy? Of course, there's different places in America you can't go to. The United States especially. So you might think, what's the difference if I'm holding up rocks, or I have even rocks in my country that are small. My country has enough money to make them, right? Or get them, transport them, start a business with them. It is then a question of like how do you arrange two different typical concerns. So like that's like electronic money again, and then or a signature, or what you may consider a signature, right? And then these rocks. So it's a positive sensation, really. The sensation is like technical difference versus foreign arrangement, and those things don't really have a blooming point. I mean, like they don't have a point where you would like change any of the qualities in the structure. Right? You would let it grow, kind of like a typical. You might consider like language oriented. It would be something that would be a composite, really. But again, like what makes the difference between composite and something that's like assorted, right? There's a huge difference. Assorted is multiple goods. It could be a lot of things. Assorted, it's just arrangement. You could even call assorted environment. So it's questionable. But as you see, there's some linking taking place there. So the question is like, if you were to recall, how do you get from one point to the next, right? It's through atypical means. So that's like electronic matter, right, to electronic matter, right? So that's what you wouldn't call like posted, right? You wouldn't just put electronic against an electronic and it would work. No, it wouldn't work that way, right? It would be associated, right, somehow environmentally, socioeconomically, politically, possibly, it would be managed somehow, right? But it would use maybe databases and things like that. I mean, it wouldn't be structured like computer to computer, right? So this is, what you have, basically a signature to a signature. So the root is, like a sum, right? So the sum is now a solution that's positive. So the better question, is like if you took, the sum, right, and you asked it, if it was, like not a technical sum, it would be like a sum that's like wrapped. It would be focused. It would be surrounded. It would be it'd be a composite basically, but it wouldn't basically take. It wouldn't take like three. It wouldn't take a composite of environmental, sociological factors, and then language. It would just be kind of composited at what is a focus and then what is a technical difference, right? So that wrapper is in the page right here, which is like you might consider it like a molar mass in a way. It would be a technical comprehension, basically. That signature would be supportive and active, and it would be like a recourse of matter or protocol. The matter would be definition versus functions, or functions versus definitions versus like kind of composite. But it's all questionable, basically. And why is it questionable? It's questionable because it doesn't do anything. These small rocks aren't like things you would use as anything in particular to take a composite and use for something. Use small rocks for signature. If they're lying out in the middle of nowhere, right? You wouldn't use them. These are broken up for a very long time, right? And if you find small rocks, they've been refined somehow, right? They've been refined by river. They have composite. Like someone might have crushed the rocks, right? They would need metal to do that. That composite is not equipable to like this situation, right? Rocks are dry, they're hard, they crevice your hands, right? They crack your hands. So it's questionable. It's all very questionable. And gets in your food and breaks your teeth? Small rocks do, right? So you have to again, question the fact that this is it is composite by itself. So it's not like what a normal person would function like through. Say someone's missing in this function, right? Maybe there could be another person. Maybe there could be bigger rocks. Maybe the rocks could be semi-deposed, like they could use action in the medium of the rocks. They could be hidden well by another item that's asymmetric that could hold them down, right? Because they have a semi-mass. So that's also an active recourse, right? Or recall, right? Of the protocol of the rock. So yeah, it could be like similar to like a meteor coming to Earth. The function of the rocks are almost infinite in a way, but the recourse is not. So the recourse is finite in its particular state. So it is it's streamlined like a definition, right, of structure and protocol, but it doesn't have a definition for like a divisional like line, right? It's just scattered rocks. The blue matter here is making the composite of the rocks shadow something, right? Which is the shadow of maybe circular patterns, like the light is semi-reactive with the rocks. The rocks make an imprint on paper when they're wet, right? The outcasts of the rocks are enough to maybe uproot a plant. It can't grow mass anymore in dirt, and it becomes slumped. What else could rocks do? They could focus grass. They could get less oxygen for grass, right? Especially if they were made of carbon, right? Carbon is a killer. So I mean, pure carbon is a killer. So you could think about structure versus quantity. What are the rocks? They're semicircular, right? So they're almost semi-matter, and it's combustible, or what you would consider substance. So that's a substance is like something you split into two, right? It's from the idea of like Greek philosophy, where you split things into what is considered atomic. That's how it's made. So you have to ask yourself, what is the figurative meaning behind the rocks? So this is just basically a test to the hypothesis of what is the significant factor of rocks, and what is the quality of maybe purpose or ethic, or quality and control, or possibly anything in socioeconomic arrangements that meet criteria for the benevolence of what we may consider perticos, something that's small, defined, and functionable, but not refined in a way that's median, which is a sum of something. It would be a definition of like one or two rocks, right? But the definition would be a one rock. So that's what I'm seeing in this image. So basically, it is almost a definition of particular substance, which is a median in composites, or would be considered grounding control of like something like atomic theory, right? So the same particular matter goes for anything else, but why it doesn't exist, and what we consider functional like socioeconomics is a good question, because that would be considered like a composite, right? Like that's like ink. So yeah, there you go. So enjoy this salutation of AI models. So.